Hi there! On the last video, I've shown you 3 ZX Spectrums in a very used condition that were sent in for repair. It turned out that one of them was faulty and we used a bit of luck mixed with a bit of the oscilloscope to diagnose the problems of the board. In the end, we got 3 apparently working boards and now we need to address the cases, replace the membranes and if all goes well, to play some games. I think we will have time to show everything in this video, and this will be another gigantic one, but forgive me for wanting to show a lot of stuff that was done to these machines. So first, the fixed board of the second computer still needs some special touches, so let's start by getting right into it, and I hope you enjoy our trip. On this board, as I've shown you before, it's absolutely pointless to have a voltage regulator lifted from the heatsink. But because this regulator is all corroded, I'll replace it with a new one. Yeah, there's no point in trying to save a cheap part like this. Ew, nasty. I'll put a 78S05CV that supports a lot more current. Yeah, everything will fit right. So now I can put some thermal compound on this part. I won't spread it too much because I like to have it squished from the inside out. And sometimes you can put a little bit under the heatsink also. Probably it's not needed and it will conduct extra heat to the board. Just point the voltage regulator in. Put the screw over it and be sure that everything is aligned between the holes. And now you can do one of two things. That is, if you don't have space on the case, you can put this locking nut under the screw head, probably, but you can also screw the nut and cut the top of the screw. As you can see, there is screw left over the nut, but it will depend. Some cases came from factory already modded and some didn't. So let's check what we have on the case for this one, because this might be important in order to have clearance under the board. And as you can see here, there is no clearance for that screw, which means we need to pull the screw higher to have clearance under the board when it's finally assembled. But never put your washer in there, okay? You can put it like this, and that will help you have a better clearance under the board. So let's put the nut in. And as you can see now, there's very little screw over the nut's height. So I think this will have a good clearance. Let's screw it in and confirm that our thermal paste is squishing slightly around the heatsink. So it's fully screwed in, and there's just a little point over the nut. Then we can solder these connections and consider our job done. Nice. So it's all nicely done. Let's see if it fits well in the casing. And yes, it's good. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some clearance under the screw. I'll try to show you on the microscope, but it's not easy because this is too high. Yes, there's our screw, and there's our clearance between the screw point and the plastic case. So that's how you do it, and that's how you avoid the screw being flexing the board because of using the wrong position of the washer. So nicely done. Further step beyond that is recapping the board. Well, it should be recapping the boards and doing the DC-DC mod where needed. But yeah, There's plenty of videos about that, and I haven't filmed that, so I won't bore you with that. And let's get right into the cases. Off we go. So now we are dealing with the cases of the three computers. So as you can see, some of the faceplates are terrible, but the customer for these computers already sent me and also this package full of more or less nice used faceplates. Yeah, a lot of faceplates that have been taken out of other computers, and they are still very acceptable with just minor scuffs or minor bends in some places. So let's find three perfect faceplates to match these beautiful cases, clean them all, and hopefully we will have three very beautiful ZX Spectrums in the end. Let's do it. There's just one minor thing that I don't know what to do, and it's about this sticker here. We will have to accept this worn sticker, and yeah, also this blob of super glue. I'll try to take it out and see how it goes, but maybe on this computer we will keep it like it is, fully original with its faceplate, and have it look a bit old, yeah, like patina or something. Yeah, so this one will look a bit rougher, and I think it could be a nice way to end this one as well. So enough talking, let's do this. Faceplate number 1. Maybe this is faceplate number 2. Oh, this one looks like new, but look at that. It's all bent. It hurts. Yeah, this one, it looks like one of those reproductions, but let's see. Several faceplates later. Yeah, you know what? I'll leave this faceplate on this computer, and I will just change the faceplate on this one and on this one. So two of these computers will look brand new, and this one will have like a patina showing its usage and its age. I think it might have aged quite well, so yeah, it might be interesting to leave it as it is. So we will do it like that, and because I can't decide on what third faceplate I should use for this machine, yeah, let's do it like this. Yum, 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 yum. Look at that. Unfortunately, this one is also full of super glue. We will have a lot to scratch around here. Somebody previously tried to fix this membrane. Of course it might have worked, but it's now fully cracked on both sides, and we can't do nothing to save this one now. So off it goes. So this is machine number 1. Number 2 is looking very rough, but with a very nice sticker. Another very cracked membrane. Yeah, really cracked one, nothing to do. So let's try to pull the faceplate out without causing any damage. And that's another case full of super glue under the faceplate. Yeah, that's the only solution. That doesn't come off, but after some years when you need to do maintenance to these things, it's a nightmare. It will always require some violence. Come on, little kitties. Hello! Not helping for sure. Ouch. This is the most difficult faceplate I had to take off ever. Yeah, it's of course it's full of dust, but I'm glad it came off. And now that it came off, it doesn't look like it's super glued, but it is. You can see the white marks around it. Yeah, it was just small droplets all around, but yeah, somebody thought it was nice to glue the faceplate with super glue. Another membrane to the trash, and let's go for computer number 3. Yeah, this one was already off, but guess what? It was glued with super glue also. Nice, look at that. Yeah, so these rubber keys are quite clean, but I'll clean them anyway. And that's another membrane to the trash can, because yeah, it's fully cracked. Yeah, somebody already tried to repair it, but yeah, nothing to see here. Sometimes they oxidate on these corners, and yeah, it's very hard to get contacts from there. So this corner is also very oxidated, and as you can see, it's even perforated in these places. So yeah, another membrane to the trash can. all three computers are disassembled. Let's give them a bath and new faceplates as selected before. Let's go. Very nice. Very nice. More or less. Still needs some cleaning. And this rubber is very old, but these keys are a bit concerning. But let's see how it behaves after the faceplate is on top. But I'll just clean it a bit more for it to match these two very beautiful ones. Yeah, these ones look like new. So, next step. This one is a bit knackered. These keys doesn't feel good. I've tested them already. So fortunately I still have a replacement keyboard. So yeah, it's a bit more yellowed, but this one will do as a replacement. Beautiful. Let's do the other ones. So most of this is super glue. I believe I can take some of the other kind of goo off, but yeah, most of it we will need to have some mechanical action to take it off. Yeah, sadly that can go very wrong. So let's proceed with caution. I decided not to bother you with the rest of the cleaning, but this one came out beautifully, and it had just a little bit of super glue on these corners, and this is the last piece I'm going to clean. So it's a mix of super glue and other glue that is a bit softer, and with IPA, letting it soak a bit, it's coming out beautifully. So if I scrub it with some conviction, it will eventually rub off, and yeah, it's getting quite nice. So the only bits with super glue are these corners, and we have to scrape them. I'm using scissors to scrape them a bit, just to avoid interferences with the faceplate. And yeah, we're done. So I'll just finish this corner. Of course, this takes a while. I'm not going to show everything, otherwise you will fall asleep. So in the end, a bit of window cleaner, and it will look brand new. So let's avoid scrubbing too much on the top of these nice white letters, because I don't want to paint them again or paint them over the original, because the original painting, it's always more perfect than the one we do by hand afterwards. So just scrub around the letters, and pass the cloth again. Yeah, and we are good. So the final result is computer number 1. Computer number 2 came out perfect. This was really nice. And computer number 3, just a bit of super glue on the top, but yeah, it's looking good also. So now we reassemble everything. So computer number 1, big blob of super glue. Let's not touch it. I forgot that I had to remove all these stickers. Yeah, this will not come out in an easy way. Soak it in alcohol and let's go. Let's try something specific for stickers. Yeah, and the gunk comes out in big chunks, like this. Okay, this is the final result. Clean from behind, and it looks okay from the front. Let's install the adhesives and then the new membrane. I'll just use double-sided Tesa tape. It's very thin, so yeah, that's what I usually use to glue the faceplates. Sometimes after some months it starts to unglue itself, but if you press it down every time you use it, it usually stays glued for some more days. So it's not perfect, but it's better than have super glue on your plastic parts. So let's do it this way. New membrane. Keyboard in place. Our clean faceplate. Now it's the nerve-wracking part. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, it feels okay. It feels fine. Let's keep assembling the computer. I'll grab the board and the screws and we'll put it all together. So, yeah, I think the faceplate wants to come up, but this is more or less normal for this kind of glue. This one, from time to time, you still have to insist in its position. So the issue 2 motherboard of the first computer, we did a DC-DC mod and a recap. So September 2024.
Yep, this was filmed almost a year ago.
Screws for computer number 1.
Even the kitties are giant now.
There's still a repair missing. I will use my favorite super glue. That's cyanoacrylate with epoxy. Now we just wait a bit. I think this will do. Let's just wait for it to dry and we will assemble the computer. So this has a very curious transistor
with one leg turned up and only two legs used. So, don't know what this is. This I know is for the replacement of the potentiometers, but this one I don't have a clue. If you know something about this, please tell me. So now the board is screwed. Insert the new membrane. Now we need to manage the membrane in order for it not to bend too much. I'll try to make it stand in front of the modulator. Yeah, but this is never easy, so it might as well have a slight bend over the modulator. So yeah, there and here also we will need to bend the membrane a bit in order for this to close correctly. So yeah, membrane is bent in both positions. Now let's screw everything. Yay, looking nice. Just needs 4 new rubber feet and it's done. Yeah, I think it looks nice with some scars and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. Maybe we should apply a new sticker, but for now it will live with this one. There's just one little thing missing. It's missing something. A lot better. So, perfect. Next one.
So they are all basically the same, so I won't bother you with the next ones. Let's do the important thing.
So here we have the 3 computers, number 1, number 2 and number 3. This is the final result. I think they look very pretty. I've put some new rubber feet underneath them, and of course the composite sticker for someone who uses it to know that this is outputting a composite signal. So the only thing left to do is to put the new ULA on the one that had the ULA crack, and we have this fantastic VA82 that came exactly from the other side of the world, from New Zealand. So if you know, New Zealand is the exact opposite on the planet from Portugal. So from Portugal and Spain. So it came from pretty far. Let's assemble it and I'll show you one by one playing some games. And now for computer number 2 we will install the VLA82. This is a replacement for the ZX Spectrum ULA. It's just a little bit difficult to insert into these slots. And okay, there it is, fully inserted. Let's test it. Well, there's still something wrong with this. Yeah, the existing socket inside the computer is too high. So the VLA82 will probably need a different kind of socket. Otherwise, we can't close the case. Yeah, I'll replace it and close everything. You know how that's done. Let's do that and test the machine. Well, I've had a wild adventure with this board again. I tried to solder this VLA82 and got an error. And then I had to desolder it. And it's a freaking nightmare to desolder machine pins from a board, especially if you do the dumbass idea that I did, that is making the chip as flush to the board as possible and then solder it. So all these cones will get very well soldered to the PCB. And yeah, I've spent most of my afternoon trying to remove this, and it was really painful. So I've discovered other thing in the process that I was not aware of. That is this version of the case of the ZX Spectrum as the board in a slightly different position inside. So if you compare, this is a normal version ZX Spectrum. So if you compare both posts for screws, these two are more or less the same length, but these two are different. So that on this different version, the board sits a little bit upwards, and that makes it impossible to use the VLA82 with a socket, as you should do with this version of the ZX Spectrum. So if we compare the lower cases, the differences are much more evident. So here we have a lot of space for the motherboard, and the motherboard will go very low inside the case. But on this version, no, these posts are much higher, and the motherboard will go much closer to the keyboard, thus making it impossible to use the VLA82 in a socket. So I will help you with a strategy to solder this thing in a safe way if you need to unsolder it. I will use a stack of double-sided tape. I will just use it as a spacer. Double stack. Yeah, and this way we avoid the chip being flush to the board. And if we need, we can solder the other pins that were broken from the top. Let's do it. So while my camera was having trouble with the battery, I finished soldering the VLA82 with the stacks of double-sided tape underneath. It's slightly away from the board as I wanted. It's leveled, and I used the length of the pins as a guide to make it stay leveled. So yeah, as always, solder the corner pins first to level the chip, and then solder the rest of the pins. I've inserted some component legs to redo the broken ones. So let's put it to the test. So I've mounted everything on the table, the first computer and my Philips D6350 cassette recorder. So let's see if it loads the game. It seems like so long. Yay! Music now. Yeah, this one is a very faint speaker. I don't know the keys for this game. Play match. It's working. So the computer number 1 can play games. Let's test computer number 2. This is the one with a VLA82 inside. So it turns on. Let's see if it loads games correctly. Yeah, it's hearing something. Yay! It seems to be working. Yes, this one seems to be working too. Never understood why the colors are different from load to load, but yeah, it's working. Let's serve the ball. Woohoo! This is sloth tennis. So, computer number 2, the one that gave us nightmares, it's working perfectly. Let's go for computer number 3. So, computer number 3 turns on. That's a good starting point. Let's load the same game. That's a good sign. Let's wait for it to load till the end. Yay! The third spectrum seems to be loading games correctly. Yep, it's working. So let's play match. Let's serve the ball. Oops. Yeah, it was in time. Oh, lost the point. Yeah, this is a very weird game, but it shows that the computer is working. So, finally, let's wrap things up. So finally, the 3ZX Spectrum computer saga comes to an end. They are all perfectly working and they are all very awesome looking. So I hope you enjoyed watching this mini series. I hope you learned something along the way. I'm sorry for the length of the videos, but I had a lot of things to show. I've got a lot of things also, but yeah, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed watching. There's a lot more to come. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next one. Bye!